Hi, Deacon Ed McCormick here at St. John the Baptist Catholic Community, and this is part 5 of our series in understanding Jesus' passion and crucifixion according to Mark. And in this section of the story, the leadership, the Jewish leadership, the high priest, the Sanhedrin, they have taken Jesus from the prison where he was in the night before, and they brought him to Pilate, to the western part of the city where Pilate is staying for the feast of Passover. And there was an open city courtyard or marketplace in front of the praetorium. It seems that Pilate comes out, the Sanhedrin hand over the bound Jesus to Pilate, and Pilate asks him an odd question. He says to him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And Jesus says, you say it. So you say it. He doesn't say no, he doesn't say yes. And then the chief priests bring accusations against him. Eventually the crowd calls for his crucifixion. And then the crowd asks for the release of Barabbas. And Pilate suggests twice, maybe we should release the king of the Jews. And they say, no, we want Barabbas. And then he says, what should we do with the king of the Jews? And the crowd yells, crucify him, crucify him. So Pilate sends him into the praetorium. The soldiers begin to whip him, scourge him. They start to put a cloak on him, a purple cloak and a crown of thorns. They begin to mock him as the king of the Jews. And then they take that off him, put his clothes back on him, and send him out carrying the top crossbeam to be crucified. And he's going to walk from there to the place known as Golgotha, the place of the skull. But he's so exhausted from the torture that they have to get a man named Simon of Cyrene to help carry the cross for Jesus. All right, I want to make one important point about this part of Jesus' passion. I have been suggesting throughout that there is this kind of black cloud of evil forces converging over Jesus. And they are political forces like the Roman Empire, powerful religious forces like the Jewish leadership, but also the forces of fear and betrayal and denial that are converging on the disciples, that cause Judas to betray Jesus and the disciples to flee and Peter to deny him. And those forces get more and more ominous the night before as Jesus is interrogated by the Jewish leadership, and now he's in front of the most powerful military government in the world, and they are experts at torture and execution. And so as the dark forces converge on him, including the forces of evil, something interesting happens. 3 times Pilate calls Jesus the King of the Jews, and the Roman soldiers mock him for being the King of the Jews. And eventually, the title put on the cross of Jesus is King of the Jews. In the midst of this darkness, in the midst of powerful, violent, demonic forces converging on Jesus, we are reminded that he is the King. He is our King. He is the saving King. He is the one who will liberate us from the forces that converged on him. See you in the next video.